When I was young, I always wanted to learn to play harp and harmonica, and I wanted to visit Ireland and Wales, and I wanted to learn the language, but I could never get a visa to the United Kingdom of so Great Britain. And I know that it's never gonna happen now, ever, because I don't want to go to the place where all these refugees are. And it's just like this other dream about having the child named Isabella. So once the man you love is dead, you don't want to have a child from somebody whom you don't love. And that's how I learned is the essence of each woman falling in love, the physiology of it, according to my psychology class based on Pavlovian's psychology. So anyways, I heard that song long time ago named Isabella, and I wanted to name my child that because it was such a beautiful song in Gaelic. Anyways, I used to tell to my man, what do you think if we have a girl and her name will be Isabella Rosenthal? Isn't it beautiful for a name? Anyways, I'm just showing you the gallery now, and I hope that what's on the screen will be seen. Now I don't want to go to any country where those things are, the way that they hate us and the way that they were trained, you know. Even their kids.
My son's school, and well, this wasn't involving a knife, but there was a similar issue. I'll talk about that afterwards. But basically, anyway, what happened was there was students taken out for an English lesson. They were in the same class as my son.
Primary school, secondary school, do we know?
This was secondary school.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, they were taken out for an English lesson. As they were put into the classroom, there was tables were thrown across the classroom. It got very violent. There was blood everywhere. Those young fellas were very, very aggressive towards each other. It was chaotic. I believe that the local Gardaí had to intervene because they couldn't separate these kids.
Why did it? Well, they're in. Are they really kids though? They're in secondary school.
They're teenagers.
You know what I mean?
Like
kids are younger. You know, I would have thought.
Yeah.
But anyway, so but why did it kick off?
I don't really want to go into the nationality, but there was differences, put it this way.
All right.
And they had different opinions on things, and basically it kicked off, and they really, I believe that there is alternations inside in the direct provision where they're staying, between the families, and it's going into the school, and unfortunately our kids are very nervous going into school because they're afraid that it will escalate further.
I see.
You know, it's actually very worrying.
Some kind of a feud going on then that's spilling over into
There's a bit of a feud between these students, and I feel it came from another country, and it's been brought into the schools. These kids are not getting, obviously they're very troubled, and they have a very aggressive behaviour. There's been
it's not Ukrainian Russian, is it, no?
Yes, Neil, it is actually.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
I didn't want to name it out.
And tell me about the other incident in a primary school.
There was another incident. This was last year in a primary school. It was, as far as I remember, it was 4th class, and it was in my other son's school. And what happened was there was a young fella had basically an issue with another boy, and basically that young fella bought in He wasn't an Irish child. I'm
All right,
nothing
no, but I
against
mean,
anybody,
I know that, but
yeah,
kids
anyway.
are kids. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
but
dealt
he
with
was
the
Irish.
different nationalities.
Yeah.
Just leave that.
Yeah.
That's done now. Yeah.
That's fine, Neil, but this young fella brought a knife into school, and he threatened the other boy that when he was walking down from school that he was going to use the knife on him. And that young fella was hysterical after the lunch break, and the teacher asked what was wrong, and he said, this boy has a knife, and he said he's going to use it on me. And she said she laughed first, because obviously you wouldn't believe a child would have a knife in their bag at, 4th or 5th class,
Primary school.
So anyway, yeah, primary school, a boys' school, and she went and looked in the bag, and yes, there was a knife in the bag.
What kind of a knife?
I don't know, because I wasn't.
Knife's a knife,
there,
anyway. I get it.
A knife is a knife,
Yeah.
But apparently, anyway, he took out the knife. They were fairly shocked, anyway, by the situation. But the other child was told, don't say nothing, keep it quiet, we'll deal with it, it'll be fine. And they kept the other young fella back while the other boy was able to walk home from school. But as he went home, he told his parents. And
did they expect him not to tell his parents?
They wanted it kept quiet.
She looks like the young fella's going to go home and tell his parents. You're supposed to tell your parents.
He was hysterical, Neil. Hysterical.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm
what
sorry,
happened then?
but the Gardaí had to be called by this young fella's parents, I believe, into the school because there was nothing done. It was left, basically, he was able to walk into the school the next day. There's nothing being done.
Yeah.
And I'm not racist. I have no problem.
Please leave the national.
No, I know,
I'm
Neil.
sick of this.
If it was my child, he'd be expelled the next day.
Do you really believe that was the reason, though? Let's be fair now.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not saying it's the
reason.
Where
we want it hushed up because they're from another country. Like that.
Yes, yeah.
I believe that.
I do, yeah. Because I know there was another altercation in my son's class the other day, and there was a young fella was writing all over the walls, bad words in Russian, actually, and he basically did it again yesterday, and look, all they can say is, don't do it again.
Yeah,
it's either to everybody. Do you know what? I think it doesn't matter Irish and non-Irish, we have to have the same rules. We have to be tougher. We're not tough enough regarding discipline in this country. We're gone too soft.
But that's a better way. That's a better way to put it. It shouldn't matter where the child is from, where their parents are from, where they've come from, or why they're here. Everybody should be treated the same.
We should be treated the same, and we're not.
Yeah.
There's one rule for one for another.
But there's not one. But there isn't one rule for one and one. Okay.
But there is, Neil.
I know, but I could give you loads and loads of cases of people from Ireland who
Anyone who brings a knife into school, straight away expelled. The parents' should be dealt with as well. They should be consequences.
But you don't know. You can't put your hand in your heart and you say that knife incident was buried by the school because the child wasn't Irish.
It was kept hush anyway. I'd say, look, it was probably going to be kept hush. Because obviously nobody wants to bring these things out in the public domain,
It could have been hushed because the school didn't want the bad publicity, regardless of where the child's from.
Yeah, and that's why I wouldn't be mentioning it. I don't want
I don't want to know the name. I don't want to know the name of the school. I don't.
Yeah.
I know. And I appreciate the fact that the cases that you're mentioning do involve children of other nationalities.
They do,
but I hate when we bang on about it all of the time.
I know, Neil, of course, but I just feel, as a parent, I'm quite nervous of my children now going into school because I know there's no consequences in this country. And I know the way I feel now, I'm gone to the stage that I'm very worried that the kids that are going to go in, is their behaviour going to be directed at our kids in the classroom? Are they going to escalate it to another child, It's getting quite worrying that the teachers are finding it difficult to deal with the situation. And I know, as a good friend of mine actually was teaching in the UK for years, and she said to me, this was normal in the UK. They had to get training for this behaviour because it was an ongoing occurrence.
Listen,
is this going to happen here?
I'm not for a moment trying to, play down what you're saying. That school were wrong. That child should have been automatically suspended at the very least. At the very least, pending an inquiry. If the guards were involved and a child brought to the school, I would have no issue, and I think no one would have any issue with the school saying to the parents, your child is no longer welcome here. regardless of where they're from.
Yeah, look, I actually, I would like to say even that school, I'm very thankful because my kids actually love the school. They get on brilliant, fantastic education, they are very nice about everything. But I just feel there's some things like this now. When a child does wrong, there has to be consequences. I don't care what they do, where they're from, everyone needs to be dealt with.
That's true. That is true. Thank you for that, Gillian. Thank you. Text 086810.
And notice how that radio host talked over the woman. He didn't let her say the nationality, or when he let her say the nationality, he was saying that it was Russian. Of course it wasn't Russian. I, as a Russian, I cannot get a visa to the United Kingdom. So everything that's happened there is by those so-called refugees. 2 men remain in custody over stabbings at Killarney Direction Provision Centre. Kerry town under pressure with large number of asylum seekers and refugees, councils say. 2 men remain in custody in Killarney. Kerry and investigations are ongoing into violent incident at Hotel Killarney, a large hotel turned direct provision center, which number of people received knife injuries on Sunday evening. And they never say who was stabbing. Councillor Niall O'Callaghan, a town centre hotelier and member of Kerry County Council, said there was a huge concern in Killarney for the whole tourism industry and the town's reputation. It is time for a government, particularly Brendan Griffin and Norma Foley, to step up to the mark on this and intervene with the Ministry for Justice, Simon Harris, on behalf of Killarney. Local Councillor Donald Grady has called for those involved in committing the violent incident in the hotel to be deported. Mom of Ukrainian girl 8 to be questioned by Gardaí. This is the Irish police. Mom of Ukrainian girl 8 to be questioned by Gardaí after daughter stabbed over 70 times in the neck and body. So this incident happened on the 28th of September, first reported, I suppose, and nobody ever followed up with this report because, you know who stabbed whom. You see, they first reported it, hoping that it was somebody Russian that stabbed them, or it was somebody Irish that stabbed the poor victim. And it wasn't. That's why they never followed up on the story. They never reported who really stabbed the girl. Dozens of times. But the search engine has suggestion Ukrainian girl stabbed by the mother. British father 30 splits from Ukrainian refugee he had an affair with and left his wife for. Tony Garrett and Sofia Karkadim and she has also let herself go to vandalism by stabbing a wall. She stabbed the wall several times when he was talking on the phone with his children.